Welcome back to the #1 resource in the world for home improvement business. Everything business and everything making money, nothing else. Well, we might go into something else. For the most part, we focus on making money. That's it. Money offends you, you should probably get out now. So in this video, I want to kind of pick up where I left off in the last video. Gotta apologize to the Texans. Whew! Do not mess with Texas. I got chewed out by so many Texans about how much money is in Texas, and I don't know what I'm talking about, because
Texas is filled with Texas tea. We got oil. We got ranches. We got spaceships.
yes, you've got a ton of money in Texas. You've got a ton of other things that bring your earning potential for manual labor down. Funny enough, a lot of their names are Manuel. All right, I don't want this to get too out of control, but yes, there is a certain thing in Texas that brings the labor costs way down.
Way down.
Way further than other parts of the country. That's the point I was getting at with using Texas as an example. There is a lot of money in Texas. There's money to be made in Texas. You can make a great living wage pretty much anywhere. It's another thing I wanted to clear up. I was just kind of trying to give examples of earning potentials in different locations and try not to base what you can make off of what I can make off of what somebody else can make. It's not about me versus you. It's just what the earning potential in dollar figures is in your location. No offense to the Texans. I love Texas. I'm going there next, what is it? Oh, way under a month. I'm going to be in Texas in like 2 weeks. Everybody is different. Everybody has different goals in life. Kind of playing off of that warning is another warning. There's a lot of guys that send me messages saying, I hate my 40-hour week job. I love working on my house, my mother's house, my grandpa's house, and I'm thinking about leaving my job. So you have a 40-hour week job and you make a certain dollar figure, and you're a full-time employee, so you also have some sort of benefits package. You have some sort of health care plan because you're a full-time 40-hour week employee. You have to. I believe it's the federal law now that if you work like a 40-hour week, your company has to provide you with some sort of health care package. It still costs money, but it's at a drastically reduced rate than if you were to buy it out there on the open market. You will no longer have paid vacation. You'll no longer have any sort of sick days. You will no longer have any sort of 401k matching plan. You will no longer have access to disability insurance at a much reduced rate than if you were to go out and purchase it on the open market by yourself. Another thing is if you have a good 40-hour week job, we'll just throw a random number out there. Say you are making $60,000 a year at your 40-hour week job. Then you have your benefits package. Now that benefit package adds up to another dollar figure. I'm going to throw another number on there that is, it's worth $10,000. But if you were to go buy that benefits package on the open market, could be worth up to say $13,000 to $15,000. So now you're up to about $73,000 to $75,000 package, compensation package for your 40 hours a week. Take the money, take the compensation away. There's a stress component to this. Now, currently your stress might be,
I hate my job. I don't like my job. Boo-hoo. I don't know if I'm going to keep that part in there.
that's not a stress. That just means you're going to trade that for different stresses. You may like your job for a certain period of time. If you go self-employment, home improvement. But there are a different, more severe category level of stresses and anxiety that you'll have as someone who is self-employed. Basically what I'm getting at, if you only have to work 40 hours a week, you earn a living wage, I would think $60,000 to $75,000 in compensation is a good living wage for a single person in the majority of the country. And the only thing you have to complain about is you don't like your job or you don't like your boss. Yeah, I don't think that you have a problem. Long-term job security is something you also have to take into consideration. If your job is secure, if obviously if you have a government job, you don't ever get rid of it. Healthcare industry, that's pretty much rock solid. But there are some jobs out there, like construction management. My job was kind of volatile. It was not going to stand the test of economic downturns or recessions. There was going to be major cutbacks in the production of buildings and houses during a recession. In my case, the long-term job security was not much of a factor, because a lot of the guys that stayed in it, that didn't go self-employed or change industries, they are constantly switching jobs. A year and a half to 2 years, they're at another place. They're at another place 2 years later. They're at another place 2 years later. Kind of hopping around, fighting for upper management, trying to get to an upper management position and trying to get security. Long-term security for their family. It's another thing. What is your financial responsibility? Do you have kids? Do you have a family? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have car payments? Those are also things to consider in making the jump from a secure 9-to-5 job that you don't like to a life of self-employment. Better get rid of this before it gets warm. When I went self-employment, I didn't have much financial responsibility at all. And it was an easy transition. That's where I kind of built my business. And there was a long growth period. It was in the peak rut of the recession that I started this business, being self-employed, doing home improvement. I didn't need much in the way of money. As the business grew, I had more money. I bought a big sailboat, paid high slip fees down in Florida. At that time, I still only worked 6 to 8 months out of the year. The rest of the year, I lived on a boat. But as your responsibilities change, as you get married and you start thinking long term, like, holy cow, I really ought to get my act together, because I don't really want to do manual labor till I'm 65, 70 years old. There's a reason not many people get into the skilled trades. It's not that fun for 30 years. It may be fun to you on the weekends, may be fun to you doing side jobs. Year after year, decade after decade, it wears on you. Your motivation goes down. It's quite wearing. Let's just put it that way. And that is the main reason that only D and F students go into skilled trades. If you can get a C or better in high school, if you can get into college, there are much easier ways to make a living with a lot less wear and tear on your body and a lot less stress. That's probably a topic for another day, that we will be discussing the blue-collar future. Remember, I put that video out. Highest paid job in 2025 is going to be the handyman. And I think we might see a turn in the demographics that is getting into the skilled trades. Because, the reason I went into it is there's nothing out there. What's available on the market now for the customers is not what they want. That's why I got into it. I saw a huge market, something different than what's been out there for the last 30 years. I don't want to get go too far down that rabbit hole. I am going to be putting out a video about what's available today versus what was available when I started. And getting into this business today is so much easier, especially this point in time in the economy and technology. So it might be the next video, because I don't know, we had a car chase literally go straight down. Actually, it went down that road. I was out letting my dog out to go to the bathroom. At about 11:30 at night, this car comes flying down the street right over there that I can see through the backyards. And there's a dip, and it crashes, and sparks go flying, and people are screaming. And within 45 seconds, I hear the race The race of cop cars. Their engines were roaring louder than the dang sirens. They come flying up, and they actually turned down my street. I swear, it was like Grand Theft Auto. They go screaming down my street, and there's cops just zipping everywhere. It's a crazy world here in the city. Hopefully, we'll be getting out of here in about, if I can reach my financial goals, 5 to 6 years. 5 to 6 years, we'll be out of the city. You guys hear that? We don't come crashing through the backyard. You know, I talk down to people who only work 40 hours a week because it's just silly. I would not be able to survive off 40 hours a week. And that's why I don't count my hours. I don't work by the hour. I consider myself an entrepreneur, and I work like one. And that means every hour is somehow dedicated to the goal. The goal of the business, the goal of growth, the goal of, you know, whatever you want. Maybe you want to make some money to donate to the poor. You know, I've been putting in 100-hour weeks for almost the last 60 days. If you only work 40 hours, there's a whole nother 40 hours out there. What is going on? I better go investigate this. I really need to bump up that departure out of the city. This is a complete tangent, but some people are just interested in this stuff. A family of 5 was carjacked in their driveway. That's why I'm always packing. So what are the stresses and the anxiety that you get being self-employed? And it's always going to be, will I have enough work? Will the work ever run out? Will the phone ever stop ringing? And it's a very valid concern. So yeah, staying busy is the main priority and the main concern and the main stress of anybody who really has some responsibility in life. If you've got that 40-hour-a-week job, work 25 more hours a week, make an extra couple $1,000s a month, drastically raise your family's quality of life, reduce financial stress. Just imagine if you never had to worry about paying a bill, you never had to worry about, can we afford this vacation? I've got a good friend who can't go on vacation with the rest of his entire family. His parents, his brother, sister-in-law, nephews, can't go on vacation because they can't afford it. They can't afford to go. That there is a financial stress, a little bit of anxiety, and it just plain sucks. So that's what I hope for everybody, is that you can go on vacation with your family because you can afford to. You're not strapped for cash. You're not counting every freaking penny. Goodbye. I gotta go clear the perimeter.